Coming up in this edition of Retro Newsround, Atari's new Gamestation Go handheld, Shrek's donkey gets his very own spin-off movie, and smell like the 80s with these retro gaming perfumes. Atari as a company have really been pushing the boat out lately with their retro hardware releases, and their latest creation is a new handheld gaming device called the Atari Gamestation Go. This approximately 10.5-inch wide device comes loaded with over 200 officially licensed games and features all the controls you'd need to authentically play vintage Atari games as originally intended, including a spinny paddle for Pong-like games, a twirly trackball for missile command type games, the obligatory D-pad direction controller and fire buttons, bumper buttons on the edges, and a bonus numeric keypad for games that used Atari's original keypad controller. To cap it all off, the different controls you need to use will light up depending on the specific needs of each game you're playing. You'll be able to hook it up to a TV using an HDMI cable, and there are game save options too for when you're short of time and want to spread your gameplay over multiple sessions. This all seems like a dream come true for anyone who wants to play Atari games with every possible control combination you'd ever need, all in one neat package either at home or on the go. The Gamestation Go is shipping in October 2025, and you can pre-order one right now from Atari's official website for the oddly specific price of £135.60. If you're old enough to remember when the computer game Boulder was released for home computers and arcades back in 1984, you'll probably be interested to hear that there's a remake available. Boulder 40th Anniversary features the same classic gameplay where you, as Rockford, dig through the earth, collecting gems and avoiding falling rocks, eventually making your way to the exit on each level. But now we get to enjoy the action with smoother gameplay and graphics, and other additional features to enhance the experience. The game features over 180 levels to play through, including levels from the original games, multiple graphically diverse worlds to explore, a variety of new and unique items to interact with, 3 main characters to choose from, and a level editor for creating your own levels, sharing them online, and downloading other people's creations. Boulder 40th Anniversary is available on PC, Apple Mac, Nintendo Switch, Xbox and PlayStation for $16.99, and there's a free demo to try out on Steam for PC players. 2001 doesn't sound that long ago, but it has indeed been 24 years since Shrek first hit our cinema screens with its irreverent take on classic fairy tale stories and characters. One of the highlights of the film and its many sequels was Donkey, Shrek's talking and occasionally flying sidekick voiced by Eddie Murphy. Well, the good news is that we'll be getting a Donkey spin-off movie at some point, as revealed by Eddie Murphy in an interview about the upcoming Shrek 5, which is currently due for a December 2026 release. It is worth noting that these Donkey spin-off details haven't yet been confirmed by DreamWorks Studios. However, as detailed in Starburst magazine, and paraphrasing what Eddie Murphy said in his interview, they're about 2 years into Shrek 5 and about to start Donkey in September. Donkey's going to be like how Puss in Boots had his own movie, his own little story with his dragon wife and his kids that are half dragon, half donkeys. So obviously there'll be no release date announcement for a while yet, but since Puss in Boots has already had 2 spin-off movies, it's probably about time that the lovable Donkey got a chance to shine in his very own spin-off film. Back in the 80s, us computer and video game geeks used to enjoy reading magazines dedicated to our favourite home computers, magazines like Crash, Zap64 and Your Sinclair. If you were one of those kids, like me, you'll be pleased to hear that those old magazines have been experiencing something of a revival lately, and I'll be featuring some of them over the next few Retro Newsround videos, starting today with Freeze 64 and Freeze ZX magazines. These Freeze magazines are packed with new and exclusive content, including interviews with famous classic game developers, as well as Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum news, previews and reviews, and a host of other articles covering 8-bit retro computing from the past, present and future. These magazines are available in physical print form and as PDF downloads for £3.75p each, plus postage and packing, from the official Freeze 64 website. We're stepping forward a little into the 90s now with the 1996 PlayStation game Tomb Raider, which is set to receive a TV show adaptation in the coming year. The star of the game, Lara Croft, has been adapted to the big screen 3 times already, with the title role going to Angelina Jolie in 2001 and 2003, and Alicia Vikander in 2018. This upcoming live-action TV show from Amazon TV will feature Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner in the title role as Lara Croft, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, known for her on-screen roles in Fleabag and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, as head writer and producer. Filming begins in January 2026, so depending on filming and production schedules, we may get to see it on screen maybe late 2026 or early 27. Back in 2001, 2002 and 2003, The Lord of the Rings was brought to life on the big screen in an epic series of films directed by Peter Jackson. Some of the most memorable scenes from those films involved Andy Serkis's character Gollum, aka Sméagol, who brought chills to our spines with his twisted body, creepy voice and obsession with the One Ring, which ultimately led to his demise. Fans will be pleased to hear that a new film is in the works, which will be directed by Andy Serkis, about the history of Sméagol and how he became the twisted, pathetic creature we now know as Gollum. Of course, Sméagol was originally a hobbit himself before being corrupted by the ring, and we did get to see a brief portrayal of him as a hobbit in a scene from one of the previous films at the moment he first found the One Ring. This intriguing scene left many of us curious for more about the backstory of Sméagol, and now we'll be able to have those gaps filled in The Hunt for Gollum, which will apparently cover the early life of Sméagol as a hobbit. Prep begins on The Hunt for Gollum this month, so we can perhaps expect a release in late 2027 at the earliest, so keep them peeled for news about that. I'm sure, like me, you never cease to be amazed by all the retro products being released these days, designed to part us from our hard-earned big kid pocket money. Well, here's one for you that's left me gobsmacked. The From Pixels to Perfume cosmetics range. Yes, for the modest price of just $29.99, you can now smell like your favourite retro computer. Yeah. Whether that's the ZX80, ZX81, Spectrum or Commodore 64, Andrews UK have got you covered, literally in this case. Their range of perfumes, as described on their website, include ZX81 for men, blending aromatic freshness with rich leather tones, creating a signature that is powerful, refined and unforgettable. An overdose of lavender adds a daring twist, leaving a lasting impression of strength and masculinity. ZX80 for women, a classic floral scent that captures the clean minimalism of the 1980s design movement, reimagined in full bloom for today's world. The Spectrum fragrance for men, a striking contrast of freshness and depth. Vibrant bergamot ignites the senses, while warm, woody and musky notes create this bold and captivating signature scent. And the C64 fragrance for men, a bold, sophisticated scent with top notes of blackcurrant, bergamot and citrus, blended with subtle floral scents on a warm patchouli, musk and oak moss base. Yes, it's all a bit much really, but who knows? These are limited editions, so maybe they'll become collectible in the future. Other than buying them for a laugh, that's really the only reason I can think of to pick these up. They're available from the Andrews UK website to pre-order now in time for Christmas as standalone bottles or in a selection of bundles, and there's also a Thunderbirds themed Lady Penelope fragrance too, so it might be worth keeping an eye on their website to see what other retro tributes emerge in the coming months. And finally, on the weekend of Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of October 2025, the UK's longest running Retro Game Expo is back for its 15th year. Play Expo Blackpool will be taking place at the Norbrick Castle Exhibition Centre in Blackpool and will play host to free play arcade cabinets and pinball tables, retro and modern consoles and computers, indie game studios showing off their latest and upcoming releases, talks and meet and greets from some of the biggest names in classic gaming, cosplay events, gaming tournaments, vintage gaming and merchandise market stalls, and a lot more besides. I won't be making it to this one, but I did attend the Play Expo in London a few years ago, and it definitely lived up to the hype. So if you're interested, you can check out the details on their website, as well as a gallery of photos from previous events. Day tickets are about £22 for an adult and £15 for children under 16, with bundle deals available on weekend and family tickets, and children under 5 get in for free. Prepaid tickets allow entry at 10 AM, which is 1 hour earlier than buying a ticket on the door, so if you can get there by 10, it's worth buying the tickets beforehand from the Play Expo website. And that just about wraps up this 5th edition of Retro Newsround, so until the next one, thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course thank you all for watching Retrospectives.